In this episode of Mountain Bike Chronicles, we're in Berg, Germany for the Red Bull Berg line event. Darren Berg is not only a true freeride legend, but is also this particular contest's course designer. We'll show you just how Darren and others build an FMB course. All this and more in another episode of Mountain Bike Chronicles. Freeride mountain biking was easy to pick up for 31-year-old Darren Berg near his home in Canada.
You know, as a kid, I've always driven by, like big landscapes and stuff, be in the backseat of your mom's car or your parents' car, and, looking out the window and like, wow, it'd be so sick to ride a bike down that and over that and up that. The mountain bike was a really good tool for creativity for me. I was able to take any landscape that was out there. I was really into that, that part of the adventure.
In 2002, the Canadian became an overnight sensation after his third-place performance in a legendary freeride event.
And then finally I went to Red Bull Rampage and I got a seat in there and did a couple runs. I was like, wow, I can do this, and then I started to go from being really scared to actually having fun. Just like, wow, this is kind of like my calling. This is what I belong doing. So that was my moment.
The Red Bull Berg line is one of 8 gold events on the FMB World Tour and welcomes the very best in the sport in their quest for FMB ranking points. In qualifying, Sam Reynolds shows his title credentials with a decent run. Andreu Lecondegui plans his approach to the podium with a 7th place. Sam Pilgrim manages a 3rd place in qualification with a standard solid run. Course designer Darren Berg has used his influences on freeride and molded them with the best of freestyle mountain biking. His good performance is good enough for 2nd place in qualifying.
Yeah, I was super pumped. I got a good run in, a little bit timid over the first 360 drop, just because I'm on a hardtail bike, which is a little difficult, but at the same time, I got lucky with the wind as well.
Darren is more than just a professional mountain biker. His many years in the sport have brought him to course designing.
The reason I'm here is because they contacted me to design the course. Building jumps is something I've done since I was a little kid. Growing up on an island, I didn't have the privileges of going to the local bike park and having a foam pit and having all these things that most other people had in, the doorsteps nowadays, because the sports are all growing. So I had to make my own. It was kind of one of those things where if you want to jump, there's a shovel. Go build it.
Darren has had extensive experience as a course designer. His skills are highly valued in the scene.
Darren's a legend, and he helped progress slopestyle, and basically it wouldn't be here without him. So for him to put on a contest, obviously everyone wants to be here.
Darren's legendary home contest in Mount Washington has driven the development of the sport. The innovative nature of the course and its design are evident in Berg.
So when I showed up, a couple things were changed, but I think it was a really good call. Marcus changed up my design a little bit.
I saw the plan, and then we checked the spot a bit, and of course, if you make the first plan, it will never be like in the end it is. So we changed some stuff and here and there to fit in the area, but mainly it's the plan of Darren. He did it.
Weather conditions are critical when building a slope-style course from scratch.
It's really hard to get the trucks in here to deliver dirt because we need like 33,000 cubics of dirt. It's getting too muddy and wet, everything. Working with dry dirt is pretty difficult to pile up stuff, but working with dirt like that, it's kind of perfect to work with it, but if it rains once, it's getting really muddy and slippery, and it's hard to pack it afterwards. You can shape it really well, but it's pretty hard to get it pressure on, because then you bring all the water from the bottom, and it will be like a pudding after, and it will never dry. But to set up everything, it's pretty good, like it is now. Most important, they will have fun, and if they have fun, there's gonna be a massive show and a good contest.
The final in Winterberg is eagerly awaited on this innovative course. Rising star Thomas Gannon of Belgium shows good skills and is rewarded with a 5th place. 17-year-old Canadian prodigy Anthony Messer is clearly relishing Darren's course and sits on top of the standings. Overall FMB leader Sam Pilgrim of Great Britain confirms his good form with a solid run and overtakes Messer to lead the event.
Darren Bearclaw still to come.
Eager to prove qualifying was no fluke, Darren starts off well.
Wow,
Nice
super
table.
high. Nice table out as well.
Oh, a little hard there.
This looks good though.
He's having a good run. Oh, he was going for the tail whip and he just didn't get it in.
However, he fails to nail a solid run and must settle for 8th place. Darren's status in the sport has expanded into new areas, undertaking many diverse challenges.
But for right now, it's kind of tough. I'm still trying to manage my own career. You know, I'm trying to compete like in contests like this. At the same time, I'm doing this big mountain movie. Big mountain running, at least. It's not easy to do. You gotta usually hike your bike up a ridgeline or a mountain and then ride down it. So it's like backcountry skiing when you gotta hike up and then you get a couple turns, and those turns are some of the best turns you've ever made in your life.
Filming for this movie has brought the freerider back to his roots. In the most remote places on Earth, like here in China's Gobi Desert. It's not just the adventure of the locations that has excited Darren about the project.
So for the last 2 years, we've been working on this film project called Where the Trail Ends. The basics of the film is about exploring and going out and riding big mountain lines in the middle of nowhere and actually having like incredible experiences. We're trying to portray that rather than just action. We're trying to bring a story to this film. So it's pretty amazing.
The Red Bull Berg line in Winterberg is in its final stages.
Reynolds is a good guy though. He's a real solid rider. Let's see what he's got for us in this.
Sam Reynolds is desperate for the win and goes for broke on his second run.
Well, he's got the X up in the big drop.
There it
and he
is.
goes for the double backflip. And he landed solo. And then the double tail whip. Sam Reynolds just exploded. Wow, look at that score. So that is going to be very difficult to beat today.
After a huge performance, he sits on top of the standings.
I think Andreo's going to throw down in a huge way here.
It's now down to just one man to beat Reynolds, Andreu Lecondegui.
Plenty of speed off
There's
of
the
the
double.
log, and here's the double. Oh my goodness, he matched Sam Reynolds, tit for tat there. He goes for the flat spin 360, and then a flat spin 3 up the step up. That was a good run. That was a really good run, and that's the Andreu we love to see ride. While the judges
After
are
an
taking a
anxious
long
wait
time
on the
here,
judges'
that means
score,
they're really considering the score. First place for Andreu Lecondegui.
Andreu takes the win and the title of Red Bull Bergline Champion 2012.
And then I seen Reynolds double flipping that first set. I'm like, man, I gotta get into that. I didn't even want to do it, but once you're up there and you got all these people screaming at you and you got all the cameras and stuff, you kind of just send it, and it worked out for me, and I just won. So pretty stoked about it.
After the Red Bull Bergline, Sam Pilgrim leads the FMB World Tour rankings, followed by Sam Reynolds and Thomas Gannon. Andreu is not listed as he is not a member of the tour. In the next edition of Mountain Bike Chronicles, we switch to the second UCI downhill stop in Val di Sole. The Downhill World Cup is in Italy, and the race rages on for the overall championship. UCI newcomer Brooke McDonald fought his way from New Zealand to the top of the downhill elite. All this and more in another episode of Mountain Bike Chronicles.